In the standard educational model, students wait until their junior year of high school to begin preparing for high-stakes tests like JEE and NEET. By the time they start, the pressure is immense. They are required to compress advanced analytical reasoning and complex problem-solving into a narrow window. This creates a state of cognitive overload and time compression that many learners struggle to navigate. The Pioneer Public School 2026-27 Academic Action Plan is engineered as a direct structural countermeasure to this timeline flaw. Pioneer replaces the standard school syllabus with a pedagogical pipeline designed to identify and eliminate late-stage academic bottlenecks. This diagram illustrates the core difference in approach. Schools usually operate on a straight linear progression from one grade to the next. Pioneer replaces this with a system operating simultaneously on two distinct vectors. The y-axis represents the microcycle. This tracks the daily study logistics and the weekly performance feedback loops that govern a student's immediate habits. The x-axis is the macro pipeline. This is the multi-year longitudinal track where the curriculum shifts to integrate specialized competitive foundations. By enforcing rigid daily cycles on the micro level and shifting competitive fundamentals to earlier grades on the macro level, the institution seeks to alter the trajectory of how students acquire complex skills. This style breaks down the daily operational hours. For grades 8 through 10, the school day runs on a block from 8:20 a.m. to 5 p.m. For early years, ranging from UKG to grade 7, the schedule adjusts to a 9:20 a.m. start. This maintains age-appropriate logistics while keeping the end time synchronized. Embedded within this time frame is the structured study cycle. The morning session capitalizes on the period when a student's mind is rested and concentration peaks. Because of this heightened cognitive state, this morning block is reserved for high-load subjects like mathematics and science, ensuring new concepts are tackled without distraction. That acquisition phase is contrasted by the final segment of the day, the evening 1-hour study block. The rules for this evening block are rigid. No new concepts are introduced. It is strictly dedicated to revision, error identification, and writing practice. This repetitive process helps move critical information from short-term recall to permanent long-term memory. What you are looking at is a bimodal cognitive load schedule. It respects the biological limits of human working memory by separating the ingestion of new data in the morning from the consolidation of old data in the evening. Scheduled study time is only effective if you can measure the output. Pioneer handles this through a continuous weekly progress monitoring system. Instead of relying on aggregate grading at the end of a term, the system uses granular, subject-wise analysis. This allows educators to isolate specific learning gaps down to individual concepts. A weekly student progress report is then issued. This creates a tight feedback loop, enforcing immediate accountability for both the student taking the tests and the educator teaching the material. High-frequency feedback shrinks the lag time. When a student misunderstands a complex mathematical concept on a Tuesday morning, the institution identifies the gap and can deploy a targeted, personalized intervention by Friday. Zooming out to this multi-year flowchart, the macro pipeline reveals its most critical structural shift at grade 7. This is the insertion point where competitive heuristics are introduced. Students begin training in multiple-choice exam patterns, advanced general knowledge, and reasoning aptitude. These foundational skills map directly to specific long-term outcomes, primarily establishing clear tracks for engineering careers via JEE preparation and medical careers via NEET. Simultaneously, a third targeted outcome track is established. This prepares students for roles in government services, banking, and postal careers. The mechanical advantage of starting in middle school is clear. It allows students to compound advanced analytical skill acquisition over 4 full years, from grade 7 through 10. By spreading the cognitive load over 48 months rather than compressing it into 24, the institution aims to reduce the pressure associated with post-10th grade preparation while cultivating exam temperament early. To ensure that momentum doesn't stall, the educational pipeline utilizes the quiet summer off-season to run parallel, highly targeted academic interventions. This chart maps out the intensive 10th grade summer classes running from April 11th to May 25th. These operate from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., engineered specifically to focus on board exam performance. Running parallel on those exact same calendar dates is the Slow Learners Foundation program. This track operates on a focused 2-hour window from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. The pedagogical goal here is specific. Educators strip away complex material to focus strictly on foundational basics and confidence building. This parallel design ensures that high achievers have the runway to accelerate, while structurally guaranteeing that struggling students receive the targeted support they need to stay aligned with the group. Theoretical knowledge acquired in the bimodal cycle is then forced into practical application. A key example of this is the institution's decision to replace the traditional, performative annual day. In its place is a completely new standard event, the science exhibition. This forces students to move beyond memorization and actively engage in practical innovation and scientific thinking. The school also enforces an educational excursion protocol. Monthly trips are categorized as experiential learning, not simple recreation. Students must complete mandatory, graduated output tasks following these trips. Early grades document findings through drawing. Middle grades take notes on flora, and higher classes submit analytical essays. These educational excursions act as data-gathering missions. Requiring structured post-trip outputs forces students to synthesize real-world observations into academic deliverables. This composite model shows the complete academic architecture. The daily bimodal clock drives immediate progress along the multi-year macro pipeline, course-corrected by constant weekly feedback. This engine is anchored by global standards, integrating Oxford books early to build foundational literacy and numeracy. At Pioneer Public School, academic excellence is achieved through systemic consistency, not sporadic intensity. Optimizing the microcycles of daily study habits is designed to directly support the macro goals of career readiness and board exam excellence. The 2026-27 Action Plan seeks to eliminate chance from every phase of a student's cognitive development. By engineering time management, early competitive exposure, and high-frequency feedback, the Pioneer model creates a structured framework aimed at producing future-ready outcomes.